So today I am doing another Spellcaster shell. So if you had seen a couple of weeks ago, I did a Spellcaster shell in Willow Creek and was inspired by another build that I had done that I didn't record that I posted on my Instagram. And then so on the one that I did post on YouTube, someone said that it would be cool to see this style as a farmhouse, and so I was like, you know what? That sounds like a challenge because I was like, oh, I don't know how I would do that. Mostly just because I feel like this style is very like fancy, and when I think farmhouse for my builds at least, they're like worn down and weathered. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that out, see how it goes. I had a reference picture for the shape that I'll pull up. I don't know if I saved it, so I might have to go looking. All I did was Google farmhouses, I think. So yeah, I'll pull up the picture just so you could kind of see. Oh yes, sorry for the sudden light change. I realized that it looked better building in this light. So for the rest of the video, it's pretty much like this lighting. Here's the reference picture. I mostly just followed the shape of it, and that's about it. I did kind of pay attention to some of the window placement for at least the front, and then I just kind of winged it. And I also added a little porch on the side because from what this looks like, it looks like two houses or like another little house off to the side. I'm not really sure, but yeah, so you could definitely see the shape of it. It's probably one of the shapes that I followed most closely. Um, yeah, because normally I'll have a picture and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I could really make that exactly. So then I just kind of play around with it. This one I feel like it looks pretty much like that. But yeah, so because I was looking, I was like, all right, this kind of has the vibe that I want, and I think that it would look really cute with all the magical elements to it. So the Spellcaster, I guess, series is just like very white house that has a lot of glowing magical lights that might be the moats from Realm of Magic. It has mushrooms, stuff like that. So it kind of looks like either Spellcaster or a fairy would live here. That's kind of the vibe that I like think of when I'm building this. And so I was really trying to keep that in mind too. I was trying to figure out what elements of the builds really like screamed that style for me because I wasn't even sure. I really didn't know. So I added some towers because I figured that towers are important for the style of this build. So although like the reference picture doesn't have the towers, I added those in because I wanted to give it more of like a magical fantasy feel. And for some reason, towers scream that for me, especially if you use the roofing trick where it's like I'm not gonna remember correctly. Shift C, maybe, where you get the extra roofing options. I have a whole video of me kind of giving a tutorial on how to build for beginners. It's probably pretty boring. um, but yeah, it's like over an hour long. And I go over it in there, but I'm sure you could find a tutorial on roofing tricks in The Sims. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I didn't know what the back of the house looked like, so I just did what I would normally do in a build where I kind of like I mirror the front a little bit, just make it slightly different in some areas. And I made a little porch in the back. Um, I didn't even show it in the preview of this. I figured it wasn't important. But you'll see it in the back. All I really do is I put like um different plants around, more of the glowing lights. I also make a farm area off to the side. Also, I didn't even realize that this would go pretty, I mean, it wouldn't go good with a Western world, but um it kind of has a similar theme to the horse pack that's coming out. You can at least have horses here if you like. I don't know how big the room would need to be for horses, so I guess I'm really just making things up. You don't need to listen to me. But I figured like farmhouse and ranch, it kind of makes sense, but I'm really excited for the new expansion pack. I built a little ranch on my Twitch stream a couple days ago now. I'm recording this on like a Saturday. I stream on like Mondays and Thursdays, and I made a ranch in Strangerville. It's felt like a huge challenge because I never really built in that style before. I'm gonna love all the items that come with the expansion pack. I think that they're gonna work really well in my builds. Um, but yeah, I didn't really know the style very well. And I had a reference picture, but I'm gonna be posting that on my Instagram. You'll probably see it sometime after this video is up because yeah, I'm falling behind on my posts on like other platforms just because I had like almost no energy. I was worried that once again that I would like not be able to release this on the Monday that I usually do, but I'm sitting down and I'm recording it. I'm feeling a little bit better. I think just talking to the mic lifted my mood up a little bit to be able to do it. I have some more videos pre-recorded too. All it is just editing them and making sure I do the voiceover. So I should be pretty consistent on posting every Monday on here. That's kind of the goal. I wish that I would post more on here, like 2 days a week would be like the ultimate goal, but right now it's only once a week. But we'll definitely see. Oh yeah, and I'm adding these big flowers on the roof because I didn't want it to be like a copycat of the other two builds. I wanted to do something slightly different. So I pulled out those flowers and I kind of put them around on the roof, but I also kind of kept certain elements of the previous builds. So the big mushrooms on the roof, as well as the pink flowers in the little pond area. So those are things that I kind of kept consistent throughout. I have 3 of these now. I want to make a short or a reel that kind of shows them all together. I don't know if I'll find lots that are the same size all next to each other because I did build the other 2 next to each other. This one's in a new saved world because my old save world was getting laggy. But unfortunately, I'm only like 6 builds in on this world and it's also starting to lag. So I'm gonna have to figure something out. I probably need to just start bulldozing lots after I build them, but for some reason I feel really attached to them even if I upload them to the gallery. So there's that. I don't know what's wrong, but yeah. I haven't uploaded this yet, so I'm hoping that I upload it before Monday. If it's not on the gallery Monday, it'll be on the gallery next week sometime. Or I guess this week, because I'm talking in the past, but this is going out Monday. And I feel like most views happen on my videos Monday and Tuesday. So it should be like if it's not on the gallery currently, it will be. And I put these like the hanging plants on the towers, kind of like what I did in the previous shell. I also have the little planter boxes around the little tower. I was really thrown off by these towers, by the way. I did not like this build at first, and I almost deleted the entire video because I was just like, I don't know. I felt like it was ugly and it, like didn't look as good as my other builds did. And then when I was looking at my footage and I got so scared and worried because I thought that I didn't record half of me building it. And so that fear made me realize that I did like the build and I did want to upload it. So I was like, okay, if you were that scared about losing the footage, that means that you like the video and you want to upload it, right? So I looking at it now, I do really like the build. It just took like I think a pause away from it and then coming back and looking at it with like fresh eyes. I was just like, "Oh, like this is cute." Like I don't know why I was being so hard on myself for it. But I guess that's just like something that usually happens. You kind of just need to give yourself a break and come back to something later if you're like not really liking it that much. I did do the floor plan again, so for all of my shells, I try and do a floor plan. This is a 2-bedroom home. Um, my previous one was only a 1-bedroom. The first video, or not video, the first builds in the style is many bedrooms, like at least 6. So there's like a different range of different bedrooms for this style. I would like to think in my head that this would be like in a nice little neighborhood. Um occults or non-occults doesn't really matter, I guess. If you don't like occults, you can always like delete the motes. It might be a little bit difficult, but I feel like just like the motes and the mushrooms are the parts that you might want to delete if you don't want to play with like a magical family. But I'm assuming that most people who download this from the gallery probably want the magical element. But if you're watching this and you like are like, oh, this would be like a cute house for my farm gameplay, but I don't like all of the weird elements of it, you could go in and delete it. It might be a little annoying clicking on each mote, so that also might be an issue just because I size them down and stuff. But if you want to, that's also an option. Um, what else about this build? Oh, I wanted to try and see if I wanted to do another little tower, and I liked the idea in my head. It didn't look that good on here. um, yeah, I was really like, so while I'm building this at this point, I'm just not liking it. And I'm just trying everything I can to try and figure out what to do to make it look good. It already looks good. It's fine, Megan. You don't need to worry that hard. Um, yeah, now I don't even know what to say at this point. I feel like it's always the shorter videos where I'm like, I'm running out of things to talk about in this build, where the long ones I kind of ramble on for like 20 minutes. Like last week's video, which was a shell challenge entry, that was a long video, and I like recorded it all in one go, which was surprising. Because normally on longer videos, I try and like pause whenever I feel like I'm losing um a thought. I'm just like, I'll come back to this and just continue on somewhere else. But oh, I do think that adding these plants, I feel like that was kind of what was missing from the build. I think that's what was on the other builds that I really enjoyed too. And like the trick where you take the moats and you put them on the greenery on the roof, so it kind of looks like glowing flowers, is really cute. I guess like this could work for any occult. I'm thinking aliens now. I did recently find that there is a rock with like glowing blue water in it. And so I want to make another sort of like magical build like this, but maybe more blue themed, and use that rock. It's from Get to Work. I found it when I was placing Marcy Laycell's Space Core build that she did for my shell challenge. She made a whole YouTube video for, by the way, so I'll link that in my comments. But yeah, I was gonna play, you know, with my alien sims, and I was like redecorating a little bit because I put it in Strangerville and the lot was so big. So I was like putting in a barn and stuff, and I found a rock that had glowing blue water in it, and I was like, whoa, that would look perfect for this sort of style, like the magical style builds. But if I did you like blue themed instead of this like pink themed, kind of similar to last week's video, the front of the shell challenge that I did, it was like the witchy mullet house. I did like a very gothic front of the house with a lot of blue lights. I feel like that would have been perfect. So I guess expect another sort of um like glowing build video in the future. Also, if you ever have any like suggestions of what kind of like builds you'd like to see, I'm always open to them. I have a little like mental list of what I remember people like saying would be cool. And it's all just like if I have the energy. If it's like a huge sort of build, it's probably less likely to happen quickly. But if it's something like this, it normally happens pretty quickly. And yeah, I'm always appreciative of suggestions. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what to build next. I do have a few builds already recorded and ready to go, but yeah, that's always an option. So I won't like, I don't feel comfortable like specifically saying people's usernames just because I don't know if people like want that sort of like pressure on, like, I don't know, like feeling like called out or something. But yeah, if you're watching this and you suggested this, thank you. Feel free to comment if you are comfortable with kind of taking credit for the idea. um but yeah, also it's just a comment on the other video. So if you're curious, it's there. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole video. Don't really do much else. I just add in some stuff. I didn't realize I had a a fireplace already. I added one for the intro, so I guess I could delete the one I added. But yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.